I wasn't supposed to be alive today. I would have been dead by suicide. Hi, my name is Eve. I never thought I would share my story openly like I'm doing right now, but I realized that our strength lies in sharing our journey with all its scars. What made me decide to share my story, it's because I know in all of us, there's something that says, if she can do it, then I can do it. If you are going through depression, anxiety, torment, or even contemplating suicide, I want you to know, I know your pain. I understand. I have been there. My story begins even before I was born. The news that I was conceived wasn't received well by anyone. It was surrounded by doubts, family pressures, and medical complications. I was forcibly pulled out from my mother's womb, who was without oxygen, from nearly dying. From a very young age, I learned that the world could be a very scary place. When at 5, I had to walk by myself to pre-K alone for 15 minutes facing my fears. My mom was told that while other children played and ran, I watched. I was always the one who mediated conflicts, the one who sought justice in games, and very early I began carrying the weight of responsibility that were not mine. At home, I lived with an alcoholic father who was always accumulating debt and a mother who struggled with depression and anger. The basic was always lacking: emotional security, food on the table, affection. My childhood has no happy memories except one that we were once outside. My father told me in a cold day that the sun could warm me up. It's incredible how a moment of connection can be in a child's mind forever. At the age of 5, I remember being tormented and couldn't sleep. I gave my parents a lot of trouble because of fear, anxiety, and also I presented symptoms during the day. My mom took me to the doctors and they prescribed medication for anxiety. My life was a series of sad events at home, and we were often criticized and put down. I started working very early at the age of 12. At 17, I faced one of the most difficult decisions of my life, which led to a long time of guilt, and the sadness that I already felt before increased greatly. When I came to the United States at the age of 24, it seemed like an escape, a chance to start over. But I discovered that our inner demons follow us no matter how far we travel. At 32, I got married, and marriage brought new challenges. I believed that my worth was in accepting everything. I lost all precious time with my children because of depression. It consumed me daily. And not only depression, but anxiety and torment. The guilt of a mother who cannot be emotionally present for her children is a weight that we carry in silence, and that only increased the depression. I ran from one doctor to another and took all kinds of medication, but things only got worse and worse. I could not keep up a routine. Many days I was dressed in my pajamas the entire day. Even with all that, I never stayed in bed. I always fought to be present when my children were home, and also always cooked for my family. In 2022, I hit rock bottom. I couldn't sleep or eat. The despair, the darkness was so great that I feared I would take my own life even though I didn't want to. I was even afraid to drive, which was something I always enjoyed doing. I had taken all kinds of medicine for depression and none seemed to help. I also started therapy again. I had what they call TRD, treatment-resistant depression, and also I was diagnosed as a bipolar. The worst depression of my life started in March of 2022 and only started getting a little better in August of 2022 when I started taking ketamine. The treatment was supposed to be 6 infusions and I had to take 8 to at least stop wanting to kill myself. I only started really coming out of the pit in March of 2023, and I did take ketamine until the end of 2023. I did TMS, which is called transmagnetic stimulation, and even after all that, I still had depression. Anyone who's in this place now, I need to tell you, seek help. It was the ketamine that started to bring me back. I knew I had to fight. My healing journey was not linear. There were setbacks, despair, and fear that I would go back to the darkness of 2022. In April of 2024, something started to change through an emotional intelligence immersion training called CIS Method. It really transformed my life and made me understand that I needed healing in many areas. What I loved about it was that it called me for an action, to do exercises that were neuroscience and scientifically based, not only theory. The exercises were not only for depression, but for procrastination or any limiting belief in any area of my life. Dedicated 3 hours a day for more than 2 months to this healing process, doing the exercises I had learned in the immersion. And today I'm free from depression. I'm here now sharing my story, not because it is over. I'm still in the process. It is a journey. And I believe that our greatest purpose can be born from our greatest pain. If you are struggling with depression, anxiety, or suicidal thoughts, if you feel worthless, know that there is a path back to yourself. And if you, like me, sometimes feel that the darkness is permanent, I promise the dawn always comes. Hang in there. This is just the first time we meet here. I will share more about my journey, about the tools that helped me, about the truth I discovered, because I believe that stories like mine, like yours, need to be told. Thank you for listening. See you soon.